beautiful, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video where I am going to do a little bit of a get ready with me, and we are going to talk about how was the launch with Singe Beauty. I'm going to answer some of the questions that you had about the brand that I forgot to talk about in my release video, my reveal video of the brand, and we're just gonna get ready. I have some new makeup that I'm going to be trying. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the makeup as we go through it, but this is mostly going to be a Q&A about Singe Beauty and also me sharing a couple of horror stories that I've already encountered during this endeavor. And if you haven't been here before, do consider subscribing because I do upload quite a lot of videos. Well, normally I upload quite a lot of videos every week all about makeup and beauty. So let me take off my ring and let's start with a primer. I will link all the things that I am using down below. I do think that first impressions serves a little bit of a purpose on a beauty channel, but I also think it's important to like check back and see what you think about the products after you've been trying them a bit. And I do those in a monthly review roundup ranking on my channel, and I actually have one coming next week. This product is going to be included in that ranking, spoiler alert. So this is going to be some first impressions, some second impressions, and some oldies but goodies that I'm going to be using in this video. And I just started my very own beauty brand. The brand is called Singe Beauty and the website is open now. I am selling, I have it here, but mine is used, of course. This is the life. This is a brush set. I'm selling a 5-piece brush set, and this is what I'm starting out my brand with. Of course, I have plans for the future, but this is what I'm offering right now. They are available on the site. We had a really good launch, actually better than I thought we were gonna have, which is super exciting. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about where we are in the shipping process, a couple of bumps in the road that I've encountered, and then I have a couple of questions from you that you had about the brand, so we'll touch on those as well. Okay, let me wet my sponge, let's zoom in and let's start. I'm gonna be using this foundation that I have reviewed before, but it is a little light, but we'll see how that works out, because I did get sent this by Kosas, and I'm going to be mixing this one in. This is the Kosas Glow IV, and I think the Glow IV is, yeah, the one that they sent me is definitely darker than the foundation, so maybe it would like work itself out. Ooh, I did swatch this one, and I can tell you, like, let me actually just pull a little bit on the back of my hand before I start putting this in. This is very like metallic, and it also is a little bit mica sparkly, a little bit the way that the Makeup by Mario new foundation looked in the bottle. That's how this one looks in the swatch. I just washed my hands and here I am. Okay, we'll fix that later, but I'll do a little squirt of that and I'll do a little squirt of this one. I love this foundation. This is the glowy one, right? But it's more of a natural finish, very long wearing, full coverage foundation. Yeah, it's almost like a concealer. This is the I Am Magic Natural Radiance. We're gonna mix these together and we are gonna see how these work together, because I do know that this foundation together with this primer, that is a budge proof 12-hour wear on my combo skin. I don't have to worry about it at all. So me and my husband, we shipped out the first batch of products after the launch on Monday. They came here, yeah, it's a little light. Okay, they came here and they picked it up, and that is very good. I was gonna print the rest of the labels and have those picked up on Tuesday, but I don't know if you knew this. The things that I have learned that I didn't know throughout this process has been fascinating and infuriating, a 50-50 split. Because when you get paid on Shopify, they do not pay you the money straight away. But when you print a label, they would want you to pay for the label straight away. So they get paid straight away, but I don't, meaning that they hold all the funds and I have none. And when I opened the doors to the web shop, I did have a couple of $100 left in my account because I knew I had some people that I needed to pay kind of quickly. And then, like I said, the launch was really good, and I ended up, you know, starting to print labels, fixing a lot of labels during Saturday. We did so good with shipping. And then I got a message that my card had been overdrafted. So they were charging me for the label straight away, which I don't really honestly have a problem with. It's just that I didn't know about it. It was one of those oh moments, because I was kind of thinking that it was like, I don't know what I was thinking. Honestly, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I should probably have looked into that more, because someone told me once long time ago that like you get a bill at the end of the month for all the shipping that you have done. And I, for some reason, did not even double check this, which is stupid. But I printed the labels, I called my bank, there was no problem. And Shopify showed that my funds were going to be released the following day. So I was like, I'll just get these packages out. And as soon as I get my funds in on my account, I can just print more labels. There's not a problem in the world. That's what I was thinking. So I packed all of the other boxes. So all of the other orders that was made during Saturday, those boxes, and actually throughout most of Sunday as well, those boxes are already packed, and we literally have boxes throughout an entire living room. I'll see if I can include something here of like the situation, and it is like an equal situation in the kitchen as well. It's just, it's part of our life. We have been consumed by boxes. Again, that's not a problem at all. I kind of have been liking the whole process. But then Shopify was like, oh wait, I think we need some more documentation from you before we can release your funds. And they were like, we need documentation that's like proving that you are you, like passport, ID. They need confirmation that the address that I'm doing this operation from actually exists, you know, some kind of a lease or something. And I needed information that I actually do have the brushes that I'm selling, which is like, you know, some kind of an invoice from my manufacturer or something like that. They could have had that from me 6 months ago. Why do you need it now, the same day that you're doing my first payment? I understand that they're probably in the situation where they're like, oh my god, we're paying this woman some money, we need to make sure that we actually know that she is she. And I am actually really, really happy that they're trying to make sure that customers are not getting scammed. But like, you could have had this information at any point during this process. You could have said you cannot start accepting payments before you have entered this information, which honestly would have made sense. I mean, I think that would have made sense, but I was just like, so I'm not getting my money? So I was in contact with customer service, and she told me, almost a direct quote, rest assured you have done nothing wrong, and all the documentation you have sent me has been verified as correct, and your funds are coming to you. They have just been delayed for 2 more days. Huh? So I was hoping to have the rest of the orders shipped out on Tuesday, which is the day that I'm filming this, but it seems like I will have to wait until Thursday maybe to have them shipped. But just know everything is packed, everything is coming. I had no idea that this could even happen, that this was something that could happen to you as a shop owner. It also made me think about, like, you know, sometimes when we complain about small businesses, why is it taking so long to ship? Maybe they ran into the exact same problem as I did, where Shopify is just like, oh, don't worry, you didn't do anything wrong. We just don't want to give you your money. Because if you don't have money in your bank account, you cannot print the labels and you can't ship the products. Unless you are rich. I'm talking like influencer in the millions or a brand that has a lot of backing. I mean, this is a one-woman show. I am the sole owner. I am myself 100% fully, like, I am the only investor in this brand. There's nobody else. There's no other funding coming anywhere else. And as you can see, I'm not an influencer in the millions. I am not filthy rich. That is not where I'm coming from. And it's just been very fascinating to, you know, maneuver these kind of things. I will say the way that the indie community has like just helped with all of these things. There are so many people that have been able to ask questions about, like, did this happen to you? And I just want to say thank you for being so kind to me, especially like the owner of Unearthly Cosmetics, Cosmic Brushes, and Blend Money Cosmetics. The way that they have just been so assuring and so helpful and so supportive, just with like me asking questions about Shopify and like all of that. It's been super helpful, and I'm just so happy to see that there are like even like Nomad Cosmetics, also like Refer Brushes have been like so helpful with like this process after launching my brand, with just asking questions and them just helping me. It just shows me that I was correct in assuming that this is a really good space to get into, because people are really kind and helpful, and I'm just happy. Is this a breakout? See, this is the stress breakout. See, Shopify, you did this to me. But if you're wondering, like, where is my order? Your order is packed. I'm just waiting to print the orders. Check your tracking at the end of the week. Everything should have gone out at the end of the week, unless you made an order during like the last 2 days. Then they might go out in the beginning of next week instead. But trust me, nobody is more frustrated than me. I'm gonna go wash my hand of this, and then we're gonna try a new concealer. This is from Pacifica. I think these are in 2 shades. It's 11 and 9, but when I look at them here, this is 9 and this is 11, so I think I'm gonna do the darker one that is 9. Even though I think that this one looks very light as well. We'll see. I will say this foundation is definitely not my shade right now. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I can definitely see it in real life, that it's almost like it's a little gray on me. It's just not the right shade, but that's fine. This is actually a glass component, so go Pacifica. So this is shade number 9. Oh, that's actually a really good shade. Okay, it goes on creamy, but not thick. I don't think this is going to be like a full coverage. I might be wrong. I might use it a little bit all around because I think that this undertone is better for my face than the foundation undertone, just to balance it up a little bit. I do have a new face palette as well that I want to try. Another thing that I hit, like a snag that I hit in the beginning that I definitely didn't think was going to happen, is when they were delivering the brushes to me, I got a delivery date that was even quicker than the manufacturer had told me. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm in so much luck. I'm in so much luck. I'm getting these earlier. I will have even more time to prepare before launching them. This is going to be awesome. So the shipping company that was going to come with them to me was a freight company, and they had a local office here in Austin, and they sent me your order is out for delivery, and they never came. And then they updated the shipping with, we have talked with the customer and we have decided on time tomorrow. Nobody talked to me. I've never talked to these people, and they don't answer the phone when I call. They don't answer the phone when corporate customer service calls them, and they don't answer the phone when the manufacturer calls them. And the next day they would say it's out for delivery. At the end of the day they would say, oh, we talked with the customer, we have rescheduled for next day. They did this for almost a week. I was losing my mind. I broke down crying more times than I would like to admit, because I was like, am I being scammed? Am I being scammed? Does this company exist? Do they have the shipment? Oh my, I was so stressed. And then finally he came and he was like, hi, I'm here with your brushes. I'm like, dude, I've been waiting for you for a week. Oh my God, that was so stressful. And I have really spent a lot of time thinking, what can go wrong? Oh my God, the amount of time I've thought about that. I think the concealer looks really good. I'm wondering if this is going to be one of those concealers that's like a little overly creamy and might crease, but we'll see. So I spent a lot of time thinking, what can go wrong? What don't I like with other brands when they go wrong? How can I avoid these things? How can I put as much info as possible on the website? How can I be as transparent as possible about the process? Like, I want to be as transparent as possible without like giving away stuff that I shouldn't or can't. I'm not allowed to give away. Like, I want to be super, super transparent. Never in a million years did I think that my 2 biggest problems would be the freight company almost scamming me or like ghosting me for a week, and Shopify holding my funds while simultaneously telling me I haven't done anything wrong. Never in a million years would I've ever thought that would be my problem. But I've talked to so many indie brands behind the scenes these couple of days, not just the ones that I've been telling you about. And a lot of them are telling me that they have had similar issues with Shopify. And it makes me a little bit like, why is nobody talking about how they're treating their customers? Because they're like forcing shops to have like really slow shipping times because they're slow and they care more about their bottom line than they care about the customers or the customers of the website that they're providing. So yeah, I thought that was like really, really, it's been a fascinating fascinating journey. Let me tell you that. It's been truly a fascinating journey. I think the concealer looks good. It's definitely not full coverage. I would say it's probably medium to buildable, but these kind of a little bit more creamy formulas usually don't build that good on me. It usually ends up with them, if I build them, they're just gonna crease. I'm gonna do a little lip liner and a little brows, and then I'll fetch some of the questions that you had. I'm back and I want to use one of these new lipsticks. I bought myself 3 lipsticks from LH Cosmetics, the new shades that they had in the Fantastics. If you have not been on my channel before, you might not know of my absolute love of this formula. It is like a mix between a glowy lip balm and it's a very glossy lipstick, very similar to, this has been around for years and years. It was truly one of the first glowy lipsticks that was like marketed like this in a stick. It's like a gloss in a stick. It's a little bit like the Tarte gloss in a stick, but they have, according to me, better colors, and these are the new colors that have been released. I'm thinking I might do this one. So this one in the middle, this one is Sunstone. It's this one right here, and then the lighter one is called Topaz, this one here. They're like not fully opaque. And then we have this one, this Kiss of Life, and I'm fairly sure they did this one in collaboration with a one of Linda's favorite artists. Was that a cat hair? I'm not familiar with her myself, but she did a beautiful warm beige. You can see how it looks on the lips. It's not fully opaque, but it still gives that color and a really nice moisturizing glossy feel, and it's not sticky on the lips. It's truly a beautiful formula. LH Cosmetics is owned by Swedish celebrity makeup artist Linda Hallberg, that's also really big on Instagram, on social media. So definitely check out the brand if you haven't. I'm gonna be playing with this new face palette that I got sent from Colourpop. I was able to pick these shades myself. There are 2 highlighters, 2 blushes, 3 blushes, and a bronzer. I don't know if this bronzer will be good for me. I wasn't able to choose between all of the bronzers, but I think I picked good shades. So this was sent to me as PR, but I was able to pick the shades myself. So I'm just going to be answering some questions while we try out these things, and I'll let you know what I think about it before we jump to the next step. This one is, I understand Singe means to lightly sear something, but what's the story behind choosing that names? Do the brushes burn your eyes? No, but truly, I'm genuinely curious, as I always love hearing the inspiration between brand names, especially unique or unusual, non-typical ones. I'm glad it's not just called Angelica Beauty or something. And that's how it actually started. That's how it started. I did talk about this briefly in my new makeup releases because I totally forgot. For me, I will explain why, but for me, it was so obvious, and then I realized it's only obvious because of me and because I'm Swedish. But I chose to not do like Angelica Nyqvist or Angie or Angelic Beauty because honestly, I didn't want something that was associated with my name. I'm not a celebrity, I'm not that important, but I still think that I can bring something to the table, and I do actually think that I'm pretty good at spotting and being able to create really high quality products. So I immediately knew that I did not want to have something that was associated with my name because I'm not that important. I am a 120,000 subscribed influencer. Nobody cares about that, and I wanted this brand to be able to stand on its own, and I don't think that I am important enough to put my name on a beauty brand. That's my opinion, and I respect everyone that has a different opinion. That's just how I felt about it. But I really wanted to have this kind of a color, this almost in this studio light, it turns almost fluorescent, but it is like an orangey yellow, and when you get your brushes, if you have ordered them, you'll be able to see the kind of color that they were. I put a lot of effort into getting this exact color. I went through several samples, and I was very I wanted to be exactly this with the manufacturer. So I'm super excited that we were able to get a color that is exactly what I wanted, exactly the undertone and all of that, because I knew I wanted to have something like that because I love what I call 70s colors, and yellowy oranges are some of my favorites, and I truly really love that color. It makes me so happy, and having it on brushes is also a way of brightening up your makeup routine without having to put it on your face, like it's on your brushes. So I knew I wanted to have that color, and in Sweden that kind of a color is called brandgult. It is an old name for orange. It's basically because orange is not we call it orange in Sweden too, and of course we totally stole that from English. A lot of words in different languages are stolen from different languages, but we totally stole orange from English. But before we used to call orange brandgult, which means fire yellow. So for me, that kind of a color was already associated with fire, so I knew that I wanted to have something associated with fire or with burning or sizzling or embers or anything like that. And when I was talking to my trademark lawyer, we'll get into this a bit as well, he was letting me know about like my possibilities and what was possible and what was not possible. And eventually I was like, what about Singe? Because I love Singe, it has a nice ring to it, I have never heard anything like that before. And he's like, it's perfect. So that's how I decided on Singe, because it means something to me, together with the knowledge of knowing that this color is sometimes referred to as fire yellow in Sweden. So I think it brings in a little bit of like me without being too, you know, too much. What is this? Is this glue? What do I have on my face, sir? I think it's stuck there. Okay, I'm just gonna put bronzer over that piece of glue. It lives there now. Why am I so glowy? Or maybe it's because of that. Oh, what stupid I am. It's because of this one. It's making me look more glowy. Do I like it? I think I would have liked it more if I didn't put it here. I think that's what's throwing me off. And also, is this a little light? Let me put the lighting down. Is this better? I'm so sorry if it's been like a little bit too light. I'm out of the loop. I haven't been filming for a bit. Sorry. I'm genuinely wondering if you have done or put things in place to protect yourself from business standpoint. So things like the cozy situation should not happen to you, or don't happen to you. I need LASIK. Okay, I cannot see. So like I said, I have been in contact with a trademark lawyer, and I have trademarked my name, and I have trademarked my logo, and I hope that I've done everything that I should to protect myself, because I truly don't want to get into any legal problems, because when we did check this up, there was nothing called that. And yeah, I really hope that I have done everything that I need to protect myself, but I did file for it, so let's just hope that that is enough. I also will say that cost me a lot more money than I thought it would. Oh my god, I mean, I knew it wasn't gonna be like cheap, but sometimes you realize why it's so easy for some people to be like starting brands, because they have like funds and they're just making so much more money, or they have financial backers. It's been truly a mission to get everything to work out together. But I also will say I've really enjoyed this process. I've had so much fun. I've learned so many things, and I truly have been enjoying packing brushes and packing boxes and just answering customer emails. I've truly been really enjoying doing this part as well. Okay, let me talk about this face palette. I think overall, all of this looked really beautiful. I will say that they're not super overly pigmented, so if you want super pigmented bronzer and blushes, these are not the ones. I think the highlighters look really beautiful, but as you can tell, they're not that super blinding wet look. I think they're really nice though, but I don't know if they're gonna be my absolute favorite formula, but I do appreciate them for what they are. They're definitely not a bad formula in any way, shape, or form. I also have this new one from Half Magic Beauty. They sent me this one in PR, and I don't even know how I'm supposed to use this one. Ethereal Weightless Sparkle All Over Use Glitter Puck. Pressed fairy dust for eyes, face, and body. Hello? Oh, it's smooth. Where do I put this? Do I put it on my cheeks? Do I... I was gonna say, this will be fine. Famous last words. Oh, it's definitely sparkly, but I don't mind sparkly as long as I know it's gonna be sparkly. But yeah, you can definitely see some of the sparkles. I don't know how I feel about that. But like, we're here experimenting. It's not that deep. Oh, that looks better. I think it was the sparkles that wasn't like worked into the skin. That was just giving us what we didn't want. Oh, that really amped it up. It is a really beautiful formula, and I'm sure it's gonna look good on like collarbones and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't hate the formula. It's more of a it's more of a like, when will you use it? But it looks pretty. I'm gonna play around with it more. I definitely need to be washing my hands. But if I was like still in listen, if I was nightclub Angie, if you had given me this when I was 21, I would have gone bonanza. I also got the question of how I recommend cleaning the brushes, and these are synthetic brushes that are meant to emulate a natural bristle brush. So they are cruelty-free and vegan, but they can still be washed as a synthetic brush. You don't have to be using a special shampoo. I mean, it's nice if you use like a brush shampoo, but like, you don't have to use one for like natural bristles or anything like that. These are definitely synthetic bristles, so you can use, I've been using my color switch, I've been using the Sigma switch, I've been using even Cinema Secrets over the months that I have been like testing this finalized product out. They're definitely durable, and for me, as long as you're not like, you don't have to be like don't go physical on them, but they definitely do take to normal brush shampoos, normal liquid, or like solid brush cleansers, or if you want to use a Cinema Secret every now and then, I know I do, or just cleaning them off on a switch or on a rag. They definitely can take that, so they're not overly like fragile. You can definitely do some quick cleaning in between if that is something that you need. So don't be too afraid to use like to wipe them off or something like that. At least that's from my experience of testing them out. I'm gonna be trying the Nomad Cosmetics Royal Europe palette. I will say I'm very impressed with this palette because I think you can see here, yeah, this is like texture. This is several layers that just come together to create this textured surface, and you can see it here. It's like 3D. It's very cool, and this is what the palette looks like. So it is a very jewel tone palette and has 2 rows of mattes, and then it has 1 row of multi-chromes down here. I will say what I see with this palette myself that I think I will be missing is that I don't know if this is going to be light enough to be an inner corner highlight for me. This might be a palette where I need to bring something in for inner corner highlight, but we'll see that once we get into using it. I am very excited. You can see a bit of the shifts here. I'll also pull up some swatches so that you can just see what they look like and see if you can get a feel for them. I think it looks super pretty. This is going to be my first impression of the palette. I do have a code with Nomad Cosmetics. My code is Angelica, and this palette is available now in case you're interested. All the things that I talked about in this video and all the things that I've used, they're going to be in the description box, together with, of course, my brush set with Singe, which we are going to be using now. I thought I'd do this more in real time so that I don't blend off screen. Sometimes I blend off screen because I have noticed that people drop out if it becomes too long of like just me silently blending. But I thought today, since we have some things to talk about, we can just blend at least on one eye in real time, and then just so you can see how long it actually takes me, especially with these brushes. This is the EO3, which is the fluffy brush, and I think I'm gonna be trying this one that's called the Ballroom, and I'm gonna do that in the outer part of the crease. I want to try oh, that picked up oh, that's a lot of kick up in the pan, more than I was expecting. I want to do more than one eye color, more than one eye color. I want to do a look that has more than one color because I want to see how these go together, and I want to be able to try as many shades as possible. Usually when Nomad Cosmetics releases a new palette, they always send it out early to affiliates or to the people on their PR list so that you're able to try it out and do a video or do pictures with it once it's being revealed if you want to. You're not obliged to, if like I didn't do it this time because I didn't have time. But I usually do because I really do like their launches, and I think they make really fun palettes that I really enjoy playing with. And for that reason, I felt a little sad that I wasn't able to do it this time, but I was so busy packing this weekend, it just wasn't happening. But yeah, if you're interested in this palette, it is available right now. That's really pretty. So yeah, that was me blending this color. I have not cut any of the blending out. Well, I did cut out myself coughing. I hope that was okay. I actually have a little bit of a dry throat, so let me get myself a drink. So I did the other eye, and I got some Coke. We're all saved. I'm gonna use the little EO4 brush, and I'm just gonna blend on the edge. I'm not using any additional product. This is my absolute favorite way of using this brush, is just blending on the edge, because it is firm enough to be able to blend the edge, but it's like oval, so you can blend a longer part of the edge without disrupting the color, because you're not getting into the actual part where the color is more opaque. You're just blending on the edge of it. I think that is where I'm gonna leave it. Let me get the other question that I had. Are you planning on making additional brushes like for foundation, blush, bronzer, and contour? And now I'm gonna use the EO5, the small one, and I'm gonna be doing this one that's called Buckingham Palace, which I've only seen from like outside the gates. I've been to London, but I have never, wow, these really do be picking up a lot. Like the palette is starting to look like a little bit of a mess, but I've only been to like outside the gates and seen it. I think that's how most people have seen Buckingham Palace, I guess. Also, sorry, I had to cut off again because I was like starting to ramble about things, and then I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Okay, sorry, I said I was gonna show you in real time how I blend, but I've only been blending for like 15 seconds. But yes, I have a brush set for the eyes, and obviously I want to have a brush set for the face as well. And I might actually also add some more eye brushes, because for me, I can do my eye makeup with these brushes only forever. But I also do have some other shapes in mind that I would like to add, so I might do that too. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I would definitely love to do, I'm going back with the EO3, I would definitely love to do something that's like for face brushes as well, because I do feel like I have a specific taste when it comes to face brushes. And I always get a lot of questions of like, what is that brush? What are you using? When I use my face brushes, because maybe you're like me and you're also having a hard time finding your exact ones. And I do have some face brushes that I really like, but there are some things that I would like to change with them to get them to be even perfect. And there also are some shapes that I just can't find. I'm like, why is nobody making these shapes? Or maybe I just haven't been able to find them. Okay, so I think what I want to do is that I want to do the, oh boy, this has to be, is this German, right? German. Is the Schönbrunn Palace. Schönbrunn. Schönbrunn? Is that the one? Or is it Schönbrunn? I never read any German. If Ricardo was here, he'd be like, because my husband is really, really good with languages and I am not. So this is the EO4 and we're gonna do this mustardy one. I love this brush also for here, because if I use a brush that's like a little rounded, I sometimes end up getting it too far in here. I don't want that. So if you, like me, are battling a little bit with like hoods and you end up getting your product a little higher up than you want it to, this little EO4 will make you be able to really push it into your crease and cover a bigger surface and not having it to be like, nobody wants to blend with a pencil brush. So you're still getting the ability to blend, but not putting the product too high up. So yeah, that's good. Okay, let me take the other question, because there was one more that I put here, and it's the I am so excited for your new brand. Thank you so much. Will you be releasing more products later this year? What else can we expect from your brand? And I hope my plan. Okay, wait. I'm starting too many sentences that I'm not finishing. Okay. My plan is to release something more this year. I am definitely working on stuff right now, stuff for the future, stuff that I'm hoping to be able to release this year. That is so sexy together. But at the same time, oh, I'm sorry, I had to cut some off again. I had to cough again. Sorry. But at the same time, I try to not overwhelm myself, because I don't want to be a makeup brand that releases a lot of stuff, because there are big brands that release a lot of stuff, there are small brands that release a lot of stuff, and I bet they all do it for different reasons. But I want to be more conscious with my releases. I am a perfectionist and I am a control freak, and I just want stuff that I release to be really good and be really me. And I also don't want to put myself in a situation where I need to release something fast to be able to pay rent. Because me starting this project, this was just a way for me to diversify how I spend my time, like what I do online, because I know myself and I am the kind of person that gets bored of things. And I don't want to get bored with the makeup community, because I'm having so much fun here. My closest friends are here. I am really, truly enjoying myself in this community, and I would hate to burn out and feel like I don't want to be here anymore. I don't know if that made any sense at all whatsoever, because my camera battery died, but here we are. Sorry about that, but I did blend the other side, just decided that I blended the first one. But what I wanted to say is that I want to be really deliberate with this, because I truly enjoy being here. And even though I know that I'm not going to be a YouTuber forever, and I would at some point like to maybe do something with my degree again, I really love the makeup community and I love being here, and I just wanted to diversify what I do in this community, so that if I accidentally burn out on being a YouTuber, I still have a place in the community. And I really do think that I have good ideas for bringing stuff out, if I'm gonna be honest. I kind of want to do maybe this one under the eyes and blend it out with this one. So I think we're gonna do these, and I'm gonna start with the 01 with the Neptune Fountain. And I am gonna put that, I do it on the side. So instead of putting it like this, I put it on the side, and you see when you put it on the side, it looks like a pencil brush, because this is not a super flat brush. It has a little bit of a like a fluff to it. So I'm gonna put this one here, like I would a pencil brush. Like that. I also will say I am noticing that the concealer is creasing. I don't love that. And then I'm taking the EO4 again, and I'm gonna do the same mustardy shade that I was having troubles pronouncing, and I'm just gonna blend a little bit of that as well. Not too much, just a little bit. But yeah, I don't want to give away too much of like what I have planned for the future, but I have brands that I look at and I'm like, I don't want to be that. No shade towards anyone. I don't want to be that. And then I have brands that I look and I see how often they release and what they release and how deliberate they seem to be with the releases. And I'm like, that is an inspiration in how they run their company. What do you think is going to be the best? I'm kind of thinking this one, but it's like also green, and this one is like, this is too green. I don't want that. Do we want that, or do we want, I'm trying to figure this out. This is like blue though. So we're doing that? I feel like that's very off brand. But we're gonna try that. Okay, so I'm gonna clean my EO1 off, and we're gonna do the Imperial Crown. And I'm actually gonna see, because it is very creamy, let's see how this one is without spraying it. It works really beautiful, but you do get some fallout. So let me spray it so we can avoid the fallout. So I'm gonna put that all over the lid. And I'm gonna put it out here as well. I feel like this is a very off-brand look for me. And you can see I'm like gently brushing it into the crease because I don't want a cut crease. I want this to just flow. And I also need to get rid of some of this fallout. That looks really, really pretty. I'm thinking that we might, should I, no, don't test faith. Don't try it, don't do it. I'm doing a little bit more of the dark purple, and I'm just, with this small EO5, I'm just stamping that on in a little diagonal to have this. But yeah, that's the look with the palette. I definitely want something for the inner corner, and I don't want to use that blue, and I honestly think that the blue might be too dark as well. Might have been too seamless with the blending over here, but I think that looks good. I just added some yellow to my waterline. This is the Glossier Ochre, and I'm actually going to be reaching into my palette with Oden. This is the Hella palette. This is discontinued now, but with the EO1, I'm going to use the Rebirth shade, and I'm just going to put that in my inner corner because I think that that's going to be perfect for bringing, I love a matte inner corner, I love a pastel inner corner, and I love something that can just diffuse some of the lines and little like divots that I have in here. I don't need a shimmer to enhance that. I need a matte to diffuse that. Okay, what I feel right now, I really like the eye look. It's very non-me, but I feel like this could be a good look if you're like wanting to play a little bit with color, but you might not want to be like too out there. I don't know if you can see, you can definitely see the green duochrome going to the gold. Like, it's definitely visible, but yeah, I really like the eyeshadow. I think this was really nice. I will say there is a lot of kick up in the pan, more than I'm used to with these palettes. I will also say that mixing this with foundation is definitely not going to be the way to go for me, because it's giving a lot of like shine and like metallicness around my T-zone that I really don't like. So I'm going to be using this a little bit more at the perimeters on my face, because I like how it looks in my forehead and I like how it looks on my cheeks. I just don't like how it looks in this area here. I just think it's a little bit too much. Okay, I ended up powdering a little bit more in my T-zone because I felt like it was just a little too glowy, but I think it looks really good. Overall, I just wanted to be sharing some of the things that I have run into being a business owner for the first time, creating a product by myself, like doing something on my own, because I feel like a lot of the things that have been going on behind the scenes, I had never heard anyone like really talk about. And I don't know if like you're supposed to be this transparent. Like, I don't know if you're supposed to talk about things like this, but at the same time, I've been so open about everything else on my journey in YouTube. So it feels weird to not also be super open about this and just letting you know what's going on, honestly. But yeah, rest assured, if you did place an order on my website, your order is already packed and it will be shipped the moment I'm able to ship labels, and Shopify has promised me that that should be no later than Thursday. So fingers crossed. Do check our trackings. Thank you again so much for the support. And even if you didn't buy anything, thank you so much for the kind words, the encouragement, sharing, liking, following Singe Beauty Instagram. I will leave all of that down below. It truly has been one of the wildest rides of my life, and I have been having so much fun learning all of these things for the first time. Even though some of the things like I'm explaining to you are frustrating, I'm still excited to do them and to feel them and to experience it and to learn from it and just move forward with new exciting things. So yeah, I would love to do like an update in a bit about how it's going, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the makeup look. If you want to see some more info, it's gonna be in the description box, and I will see you again on Friday for new makeup releases. Bye!